Hi everybody, it's Wanda. So yes, you're looking at a piece of white. It's white fabric, and today what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to use this fabric paint to do a sun painting. You may have seen this on some videos. It is so much fun. It's so unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get. So I am upstairs in my kitchen, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. This is a piece of sheet that I bought at Walmart, and I got a twin size sheet, and I have cut it into squares, and I've already done 3 of these, and I'm not going to show you those until maybe towards the end of the video. But so what I use is I have this color, which is blue Gatane. These are French. Look, the instructions are in French. This is for painting and setting with an iron. You don't have to steam these colors because they are paint, and you can set them with an iron. So I have ultramarine blue, this Gatane blue, which is like a darker blue. I have Parma violet, and the Pebeo SetaColor. I also have the SetaSilk, which is used for silk painting. I bought these years ago in primary yellow. I have some glass dishes like these that I'm going to mix the paints up in. I have a spray bottle for wetting the fabric, and I have my container full of water with a sponge brush that I'm going to use to spread the paint. The whole way you do this is you wet your fabric down, you put your colors on, and then you lay down something that is going to adhere, and I have cut something out of copy paper, and it's going to adhere to, it's going to stick down onto the cotton because the cotton is wet. And you're going to put some shapes on there. You can use stencils, you can use leaves, you can use bamboo. I did that the other day. Whatever you can think of and whatever you cut out and put on it. And you put it on the fabric after you've wet it and after you've put your paints on there, and then you take it out in the sun. The sun will darken the paint that is not covered, and where your the designs are that you lay down, it will be lighter. So it takes, it blocks the sun from turning the paint dark there. And then you leave it out for like an hour to 2 hours, and then when it's dry, you bring it in, you let it dry for 24 hours, and that pretty much sets the color right there. And then you iron it with a hot iron. And on cotton, you can use cotton, and you have to iron it for like 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. So you want it hot, and you want to hold that iron in one place and not move it around. You want to hold it there. You don't want to scorch it, but you want to hold it there and really set that dye. And then I waited another 24 hours before I washed mine. So, and when I washed them, they came out fine. So I'm going to try to set up my camera so that you can see what I am doing. I just got word that my son-in-law may be coming over to mow, but they've had a critter get underneath the back deck where he stores his lawnmower, and he came face to face with a skunk this morning. So he's calling the critter people to get it relocated. And I don't know how long this is going to take or what's going to happen, but I will get back with you after I get my camera set up and get all my paints put out. And what I'm going to try to do is put down a dark blue, some yellow, some more blue, some purple, and then some more blue down in here. And I'm going to lay my sailboat that I just cut out of copy paper, and I'm going to put up here where the sun is, I'm going to put a Starbucks cap from a Frappuccino, and that will actually make a circle in that dye, so it'll make it look like a sun with light coming out around it. And that's my plan. It's very simple, very easy, but I wanted to show you all how to do this, and it's so much fun. And I have sun coming in right now from my skylight. I have a skylight in my kitchen. When I bought this house, it has a skylight. So here's one fun thing that I have to show you. I think this is hilarious. A friend of mine gave me this. It's a tea container that she had bought years ago. And look, it says ideal storage at home or on safari. So far, I have not gotten to go on safari, but I just think this is the cutest thing ever, and I just thought I'd show it to you. So I will see you in a few minutes. You all would laugh so hard if you saw how I had my camera set up, because it's just hilarious. I actually have my cabinet door open and my tripod shoved into the corner cabinet to hold the camera. So we will see how this turns out. I know it looks a little dark. It's because the sun is coming in so strong on this side over here. But I wanted to show you what to do when you're cutting and tearing, you know, doing your fabric. You tear it. You always tear it because it will tear straight right across the weave. So I'm going to tear this end off. Get rid of that. Then I have a piece of freezer paper with the slick side up on a piece of foam core. So that's what I'm going to use to paint on. You could use a piece of plastic, but you need something to be able to carry it out to the sun. So outside. So I'm going to cut this side off, tear it. Scissors need sharpening. And we're going to try to do this while I have the sun, because it's supposed to get cloudy this afternoon. So I hope you all can see this. Now, what I did was I drew this on a piece of copy paper. It's supposed to look like a sailboat with like light coming down across the water. And so the first thing I want to do is wet my fabric. Let that water kind of soak in. You want it pretty wet. Can always wet it some more when I'm putting on the paint. I'm going to put, this one is the purple one. So I'm actually going to dip right into the top of that. This is the ultramarine blue. I'm going to put a little of that, very little, in my dish. Maybe a little more. And add some water to it. Okay. You can see how thin it is. Very intense this paint is. You could actually use this in your Floetrol to do a painting with. So for this one, I think I'm going to use a little of this blue, which is a different shade. It's very wet, very runny. It's the SetaSilk, which is thinner. So I'm going to put a little bit of, you can see more, it's more of a sky color, where the ultramarine to me is more of a watercolor. So, have those two blues done. I'm going to dip my sponge brush, which is what I'm going to use to put it on with. And I want a little bit of yellow, just right up in here, like a sun. So, make sure that's good and wet. Too much. That's all right. I didn't think it was going to spill out like that. Put the top back on it. Now, the sky color is this one. It's almost like a turquoisey blue. So, it's going to go green up there, I'm afraid. Sky is always darker towards the top, lighter as you go down. try to stay off of that. I don't want it to turn green on me, actually. So now I've used all that. Spray some water on it. Let it diffuse a little bit. I should have tied that down. I should have tacked it down in the corners. Let me see if these push pins will hold it a little bit. Bought some big old push pins. Try using them on the edges. If this were silk, you would want to use silk pins because they're finer, smaller. And so now I'm gonna get that green out of my sponge brush. I'm gonna go in with this. This is gonna kind of be my horizon line, I hope. I want it as straight as I can get it across there. Now, make sure I have plenty of water down here. It's okay with me if it's a little light in places and a little darker in other places. This is probably going to be used to make a pillow with. Now I want to take a little bit of this purple, put it right in there. Just for fun. Kind of makes it a little darker in places. Keep working your color down. You can pull some of that color back out, really. It's kind of like you would with a watercolor. So now what I'm going to do is put the tops back on my paint so I don't spill them. I'm going to lay this down. Let me get that good and wet. Kind of right in there, I think. You want to press it down good and tight so that it sticks. Hope that looks like a boat. Now this is going to be lighter underneath this. It's like a highlight coming down through the water, so I could always take a little of the yellow and go back in like that. I'm going to put my Starbucks right up in there. That'll make it look like a sun. I'm going to take it outside. So I'm going to take this out and put it on my back deck. And as soon as it's been an hour or hour and a half, 2 hours, I will bring it in and show it to you. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so it actually stayed out in the sunlight for about 2 or 3 hours. And I have never used a yellow color before, the yellow paint. So I probably boo-booed with that. But I think what happened was I didn't get this wet enough and pushed down tight enough. So I don't know how it turned out. So let's see. All right, there's my sun. This is fun. I love doing this. Sun painting. Well, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. You can't tell that it's a boat. So right up in here, maybe I can figure out a way to paint that sail in. I'll have to see. And this right here is kind of weird looking. But anyway, that's what I was going for. You know what I was going for? This is how it turned out. It's fun to do depending on what you put on there. Here are some, is one that I did the other day, and I just cut out, it's got a piece of string hanging on it. I just cut out stars and quarter moons out of copy paper. I put my colors down. I didn't want it all solid and dark, so I did some of it lighter and some of it darker, and there was actually some purple in here that just barely shows. But let me take this out from under it. Maybe you can tell better. So that's how that one turned out, which I still think it'd make a really cute pillow. Like if you have your pillow about this size, I think it'll look fine, and then have this as the pillow front like that. I think that would be cute. So I think a kid would like it, you know, and I have great grandchildren, so that's what I was going for on that one. This one, I use more earth tone colors because you know I love those, and leaves and bamboo. And I have the bamboo growing out back, you know, tons of it. So I actually laid down some bamboo sticks that I had cut. Here's a leaf that's a weird looking, it's a yellow poplar that grows here in Tennessee. They have these strange shaped leaves on them. So I laid some of those down, and then the bamboo I had cut the day before, and the leaves curl up and dry out real fast. So they kind of curled up and dried out, but I like the impression that it left. So I think that would make a pretty pillow too, even if you just did like this part of it right in here without the leaves, because I'm not crazy about the leaves, but it does show you how you can take a leaf and lay it down on there and stick it down. You just need your fabric really wet so whatever you put on there stays. So it was just something that was fun to do. I've been playing with it a little bit in the last week, and it's fun to do, and I wanted to show you guys. And the SetaSilk, however it's pronounced, is made by Pebeo. It's a French company, and those bottles of paint are about $3 or $4 a bottle, and I get them at Dharma Trading Company in California. So it takes a week for them to get to me if I don't pay for priority shipping. And I've been buying from Dharma for, holy cow, since the 90s. Since the 90s, because they have all kinds of clothing that you can dye. They have paints, they have technique videos on there, they have silk neckties, they have a lot of silk. I used to make lampshades for Victorian lamps, and that's where I got my silk. It's China silk. It's made from silkworm silk. And it's that kind of silk. It's China silk that has been made with the silkworms. And that was what I wanted for my lampshades. So that's how I got started with Dharma. But I will put a link to them in the thing. And I'm kind of disappointed that this turned out like it did. But if I had put a different kind of design down and not gone for this ocean look, it would have probably it would have come through better, because the colors are so dark that I used here. I wanted to use vibrant colors so you all could see them. But you know, if I had done other designs, I mean, you can see how good this came out. So I think maybe the paper is a problem. I think it would be better if I had something that was thicker. It has to be opaque where the light doesn't go through it, though. So, I don't know, maybe brown grocery bag would work better instead of this white copy paper. I'll just have to experiment some more with it and play with it. I've only done it a few times. I think I did it a few years ago, and look where the push pin that I put in shadowed, kept the sun from hitting it from the angle of the sun, and it made a dot up there. But just something to show you, something to have fun with. And I thought you all might be interested in it, so let me know what you think. And I'll post the link to Dharma Trading in my description box. And thanks for watching.